What is up, you guys? So the time has finally come. I bought the movie like 2 weeks ago, I think it was. The house is literally completely empty. I am home alone right now, and I'm going to be home alone for the rest of the night. So what better thing to do is there than to watch a Scarlett Johansson movie? 1, 2, 3.
Get a movie house!
By the way, I just got home from work and I came home to an empty house, and my wife isn't going to be back till tomorrow morning actually. But I came home and found this awesome note, and I feel like I have to show you guys. It says, "I love you very much, baby. Have fun tonight with Scarlett Johansson and your vlog. Love you para siempre y siempre," which is Spanish for forever and ever. Your wife, Madeline Rose. I got my drink, the popcorn is ready. The only thing that I am missing right now is the actual movie. So let's go ahead and get that. Where are you? There you are. Ladies and gentlemen, Under the Skin, starring the love of my life. I've heard a lot of things about this movie, and not only do I want to watch it because it's Scarlett Johansson, but it just seems like the type of movie that I would love. It seems like the type of movie that I would consider a masterpiece. I know a lot of people have said that it's a masterpiece, and I know it's sort of controversial because it's like the kind of artistic film that just isn't for everybody. But it definitely seems like it's something that I might enjoy for those of you that already know the type of films that I'm into. You guys have already said that this does seem like the type of movie that I need to own and I need to watch. So normally whenever it comes to controversial artistic films, I like to go into the movie not knowing pretty much anything. All I really know is that Scarlett Johansson is an alien. I do know it's a foreign film, of course, but I know that she's an alien and she has been sent to study the human life. And I might be wrong, but I think her job on Earth is to learn about the human race, or maybe just learn about men. I also know that it's sort of a story about an alien that is slowly discovering herself, or maybe she's learning a lot more than she should about humanity. That's pretty much all I know. I mean, that's sort of what the synopsis says and what the trailer gives away also. But I have been told that it's a very simple story. The thing that makes it such a great film is the style and the way it's brought to us. The way the film was shot is what makes the story very interesting. But anyways, I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm gonna go ahead and press play. I'm super excited, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, you guys, so I'm pausing it at 1 hour and 1 minute. There's Scarlett Johansson's beautiful eye. So I'm halfway through the movie. I'm sorry if the lighting is really bad. It got dark really fast, and it actually makes the movie even better because the more into the movie you get, the darker the tone gets. So it was getting darker as I was watching it, and the movie just kept getting creepier and creepier. But anyways, let me go ahead and turn some lights on so you guys can see me. The lighting is really bad. That's better. This movie is not like anything that I've ever seen or that I can think of. I do understand why people would say it's sort of Kubrick. It has that style that Stanley Kubrick used to use. Not necessarily like the perfect camera angles, because there aren't that. It sort of has that independent film feel to it, but there are a lot of long, very quiet scenes, shots that are very important. In the beginning it does feel a little repetitive, but each time that repetitiveness happens, you get something more. I know right now I'm probably not making any sense, but I just wanted to take a quick break and give you a few thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the movie, and I will see you guys later. Okay, so the movie just ended. I'll pause it. It goes by really fast. For a movie that doesn't have a lot of dialogue, it goes by very quickly. I think it's like 2 hours long. For a very simple movie, it's extremely artistic. It almost knows that it's artistic. Like, there's a few scenes where it tries a little bit too hard, but it also pulls it off at the same time. I don't think I have much to say about it because the movie is very simple, but of course a lot of you already know that I can talk a lot sometimes because even though sometimes I think I don't have a lot to say, as soon as I start talking, a lot seems to come out. Sort of like what's going on right now. Yeah, so I think it would be best for me to stop right now and get myself one more drink and then go to the movie room and share my thoughts on this movie. So let's go. Under the Skin, starring Scarlett Johansson, also known as The Love of My Life, is a story about an alien. This alien, who happens to be in a female disguise, has a job, a mission. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a mission, it's more of a job, because there is someone that she has to report to. The movie doesn't necessarily go into detail about why they're doing the things that they're doing. That's not necessarily what the story is about, so I think that's why they don't really give a lot of detail about that, or at least focus on that atmosphere of the story. The story focuses a lot more on Scarlett Johansson's character, the alien in human form, and the things that she is slowly going through during her time here on Earth. Like I said before, she has a mission, a job that she's been given, and that's pretty much all that she at first is thinking about. But interacting with other humans and surrounding herself with other people, she slowly starts to see things just a little tiny bit differently. It's not necessarily the story, but I think it's more of the way the story is presented to the viewer that makes it a movie worth watching. There isn't a lot of dialogue in this movie, and I love that. I enjoy it very much. I know most people are like, oh my god, how can you watch a movie with not a lot of dialogue? How can you watch a silent film? It's gonna put me to sleep. I honestly can't sit down and watch it. But you honestly don't think about that much because, one, there's a lot to look at. Two, the music is literally mesmerizing. You catch yourself in a trance. That's what this movie is. Like, Scarlett Johansson uses her beauty to put all of these men in a trance and take her back to where she wants to take them. And this movie does that to the viewer. I mean, I guess I can kind of tell where a person watching this movie would be a little tiny bit bored watching it, because there are a lot of very quiet scenes, very Kubrick scenes, if you know what I mean. But with the music on top of it, and with the things that are going on in these scenes, I didn't get bored at all. I was honestly mesmerized. Like I said, I caught myself in a trance watching this movie, and I was literally okay with it. It's really not clear why they're doing the things that are doing, because like I said, the story is just about one alien, and they do give you the idea that there are many more, but this story just focuses on one and focuses on her journey, her adventure, I guess you can say, on Earth. Like, up to the point to where she starts questioning things, you see how she is literally watching everything closely. She is focused on everything that is going on around her, and she is like slowly learning. And while she's doing that, you can't help but watch her closely, watch other things closely. Like, I caught myself doing that so many times. It was like she was being very observant, I guess you can say. But then I caught myself doing the same thing towards her. Scarlett Johansson did an amazing job at that, because even though, like I said, Scarlett Johansson is the love of my life, there were a few moments where I didn't think about Scarlett Johansson. I thought, what is this alien gonna do next? There were a few scenes where I felt it was a little cliche, like, oh, okay, I guess I sort of understand what they're trying to say here, and I understand what they're trying to say there. And of course, this makes sense with that. Oh, didn't see that coming. But at the same time, like I said, it's not necessarily the story, but the way that it's presented to you. Even though I thought there were a few cliche scenes, like whenever she tastes food for the first time, I felt like, oh, I saw that coming. But I guess the way it was shot, you get like this very long scene of her taking her first bite. So, like I said, it's not necessarily the story, but the way it's shot and presented to you, especially with the music. I know I keep saying that, but the music, just everything put together, the way it's presented to the viewer is what makes it such a really good movie. This film is extremely simple. I feel like it's a simple story. It almost feels like an independent film, but it's simple but artistic in every way possible. The movie is called Under the Skin, in my opinion. I sort of guessed it about halfway through the movie. Not guessed it, I mean, it was pretty much made clear halfway through the movie, but it was certain towards the end of the movie. And of course, you get from the trailer and the synopsis that she is in fact a very beautiful woman, and that is something that I'm not going to disagree about, because Scarlett Johansson is absolutely gorgeous. But she uses that beauty to capture men. But there is, in my opinion, a very, very powerful scene that depicts that very well, with one of the last few men that she captures. I believe it was actually the last man that she captures, where outer beauty and inner beauty take a big part. Now, before I say these negative things, I do have to say that I did enjoy this movie. It's definitely rewatchable for me, because every Scarlett Johansson movie is rewatchable. There was this one scene that like made my jaw drop, and it's not a Scarlett Johansson scene. Whenever you see where the men are kept, for those of you that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Just seeing what those men go through when they're captured really creeped me out. It was a little disturbing, a little odd, a little weird, and I loved it. I don't want to say this movie is a horror, but there are a lot of creepy moments, especially with the music and the sounds. But the fact that there's not much dialogue, it's like pure silence, and with the sound of the music, you just like, you get captured into these very quiet, still moments that sort of creep you out. Like, at first I didn't understand why the movie was like 2 hours long, because it is a very simple story, but it goes by so quickly because of those scenes. Those scenes are dragged out a little bit. It almost feels like whenever there's not much going on, those scenes drag for such a long time. But when something awesome is happening, those scenes go by extremely quickly, that it leaves you wanting more. So it pretty much balances everything out, because after every amazing scene goes by, you literally want more of that. You want to see more of that. You want to learn more of that. And then you know that nothing is going to happen for a while, but those scenes in between drag out too long, because it's sort of teasing you for whatever is going to happen next. But the thing that I didn't like about this movie, and it's my only complaint really, is that I guess a lot of the scenes were shot with hidden cameras. So all of the scenes where you see a crowd of people, like at the mall or in stores or in the streets, certain things like that, those were shot with hidden cameras. So those are actual people. And also some of the guys that she picks up are real people that didn't know were being shot for a movie. Of course, they were told after. But some of those scenes in restaurants and crowds in the mall and stores, things like that, some of those scenes, because it does go back and forth a little bit, they just, it didn't exactly go with the scenes that were perfectly planned. The scenes that were perfectly planned, they were lighted correctly, and the cinematography was beautiful, and just all the product placements, everything that was in those scenes was absolutely beautiful. But because they kept going back and forth a little bit, seeing her with the crowd, with people in the streets, those scenes didn't exactly go hand in hand with the scenes that were planned out. Does that make sense? I mean, it's just very obvious whenever they set a camera out in the crowd and just record people like window shopping or walking down the street or having normal conversations. I understand that you want to get that realistic look, but it was just a little bit way too obvious, because the other scenes that involve Scarlett Johansson were so perfectly planned out and beautifully planned out that whenever you went back and forth, something about it just felt off. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but it's not a masterpiece. Because a masterpiece to me is when there's a film that I honestly cannot sit down and think about any flaw. And for a film that is this artistic, I felt like a lot of it felt very independent. Like I said, I did enjoy this movie. It is rewatchable, and maybe the second time that I watch it, I will like it more. But I don't think it's amazing. But I do think that all of you should watch it. If you guys have seen this movie, please let me know what you guys think. I personally enjoyed it very much, but I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's amazing, but I am definitely going to watch it again. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I won't. Either way, leave a comment down below. Like the video if you like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching Gary Movie House. Like, comment, and subscribe for my videos. Peace out, homies.